Welcome, everybody. Thanks for watching our By Request show. We have another new one that Jessica Lee and I co-produce and co-host. We got some exciting things happening here. Hope you enjoyed our previous 3 shows. We have another great By Request show. I got to give you the little tip. Tip the cats. Go to jessicaleejazz.com. Help out during these tough times to defray any of our costs. We appreciate your donations in advance, and thanks again for watching our shows. We appreciate it. We got to get to this exciting news that Jessica Lee has. Well, hello, Jess. I got to take my obligatory sip.
There's the green tea.
I'm good. Sip by sip, the better health for all.
Now we're ready to begin, huh?
Yes, I'm good.
So hey, Al, today, as we always do with the By Request songs, we have 2 pretty interesting songs that are by request from people who want to hear certain songs and certain messages during this coronavirus pandemic. And I just want to start out with a special mention, if you don't mind, today.
Sure, go ahead.
If we could send this particular show out to the late, great Harold Betters, the jazz trombonist. I just learned that he went to heaven last night. And Harold Betters, he played a great jazz trombone. He was a front person. He had a great, sunny, happy personality on the stage. A lot of good energy. I had the chance to sing several times with him. Most recently at the Connellsville Canteen in Connellsville, PA, I was doing a show, and he appeared and he sang What a Wonderful World with me.
Wow. That Louis Armstrong classic.
Yes.
That's a great song.
Yes. And I just,
peace and prayers to his family and friends.
That's it. And so we dedicate this show to his memory, his inspiration. We thank Harold for his beautiful music. He's joining his brother, Jerry Betters, in heaven. Jerry was a singer. I had a chance to sing with Jerry at Dow's on 9th Jazz Club, if you remember Dow's.
That's going back a couple years.
9th Street, downtown Pittsburgh, which is now Kappa High School. But so you know, today's theme, Al, is spirit jazz, inspirational jazz. And I'm moving on to that theme just very recently, because I finally, as you know, the good news here is I just completed with Mark Strickland, the great guitarist and friends, just completed a new live, my first ever live CD.
I'm excited, Jess. I'm very excited. That is awesome. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so excited to release it. It's called I Wish You Love. The Pint Size Songstress returns, and it remembers, just as we're remembering Harold Betters today with our show, the CD remembers Maxine Sullivan, the great singer from Homestead in Pittsburgh, who influenced Ella Fitzgerald, Peggy Lee, put the ing in swing with that lilting jazz swing vocal. So that's coming out soon, and we're going to have more to talk about when that releases. And I'm welcoming contributions to help with the production of a certain number of CDs, because we're going to use them for charitable causes to support charities. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But now that album is about to release, I'm going to turn my attention to spirit jazz for the next project, the next recording.
Sounds great. Yeah,
and we got a wonderful request during COVID for a song that is internationally known. Al, it's done in many different languages. It's called The Prayer.
Yeah.
And this was specifically to bless and protect healthcare workers who were on the front line during the coronavirus pandemic.
Sure.
And we know that as we sit here today together, they've been fighting on the front lines now for 6 months, right? And more.
Yes.
So today more than ever, as we enter the winter months, when everybody has to be inside and a little bit more careful to be safe and healthy, we want to send this out to all of the healthcare workers who are going in day out and battling this coronavirus. So
very true. And especially, you know, with it resurging again now in the fall. So we do have to be vigilant. And it's so frustrating that people need the inspiration of your singing by request. I enjoyed each time you've posted it because I might be down a little bit. You know, I'm Mr. Positivity, but even I have to tweak it sometimes. And it's so uplifting. You know, when I first heard this, the prayer, very inspirational. I had thought I had heard it years ago. And when I did my research, I'll talk about it afterwards. But it's so apropos, as you say, for today.
So the prayer, why was I inspired to learn the song and to sing it in the first place? I had heard Bocelli sing it. Many, many beautiful singers have sung this as a duet with Celine Dion. I had
Right.
heard Yolanda Adams. She has a version as a duet, but it's always been done when I've seen the recordings with a large symphony or a large gospel band and choir.
Right.
So not often done in small instrumental settings with just a guitar, with just a piano. And Mark Strickland and I did a version of this together. It was a while back now, Al.
Okay.
And, you know, it was with a bunch of other songs. And a lady who is from the Philippines came up to me after and she said, "Do you know what my favorite song was?" And she said it was The Prayer, which surprised
Wow.
me. And she said, "We love it in the Philippines. It's an international song." So the middle of it has some Italian in it.
Yes.
And when I sing the Italian, I immediately sing the English translation right after so people know what that means. That Italian line means what I sing in English immediately after. I think it's a beautiful message. We all need a little safety and protection, but
Sure.
especially for all of those men and women who have been going out and working so hard to keep everybody safe and healthy during this pandemic.
This is Jessica Lee stopping by Facebook Live for one requested song. This is The Prayer. This was requested because of all of those people out there on the front lines working for all of us to keep us safe and healthy and fed, who need extra special blessings and prayers for safety and support, health. For all those frontline workers and their families, this is for you this evening. And part of this song is in Italian in the middle, in the bridge. I am part Italian, so I am going to sing the Italian short line of Italian. I will then immediately sing the Italian, the English translation for you so you know what the Italian meant. And this really is just a musical prayer, so please pray along with me, sing it if you know it. And I have a piano down below. Also, this is for everybody who's mourning the loss of loved one. We've had too many go to heaven recently. Here's the prayer. I pray you'll be our eyes. Watch us where we go. And help us to be wise. In times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer. When we lose our way, lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we be safe. day we'll find your light and hold it in our hearts. The stars go out each night, remind us where you are. And let this be our prayer. When shadows fill our day, lead us to a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. A world where pain and sorrow will be ending, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the sky. Love for Kichidai, we ask that life be kind. Desiderio que watch us from above. You know, trovi amor. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer. Just like every child, needs to find a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Needs to find a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. We'll be saved.
Jessica Lee, what a great song. Very inspirational. You got to listen to the whole thing. And I enjoyed with the Italian because I only speak bad English. And to hear Italian and have you come out and say what it means in English, it just flows so beautifully through the show. And what I wanted to also share is your piano playing, which I've always wanted to hear. It was very special, and just how you played without an orchestra to do that. It sounded great to me. So thank you.
Thanks, Al. Thanks. And I want to say a special shout out to somebody who we may see on a later show. I have a good friend named Clay Corley Sr., who's in Philadelphia, and he's been working as a healthcare worker on the front lines and caring for people with COVID. He also has a beautiful show called Spotlight on Jazz and Poetry. And
Sounds
you can
great.
find him. Yeah, you can find him on Facebook. He has 12 years or so of interviews with the jazz greats, poetry greats, and he puts them together for jazz poets. So I think especially of Clay and some others. My dear sister, Raquel,
Sure.
is a physician, and so many out there fighting the good fight to keep everybody healthy. So
and Raquel's at the hospital where I had my transplant at Montefiore. So, I'm doing well with that. And it's just, very crazy times.
You recently got some good news during.
Yes. I had my biopsies, 3 times a 12-inch needle. They jabbed it in me. I was numbed up, didn't feel a thing. I had to go in at 6 in the morning. I got done about 3:30, but they took 3 samples of the tissue, no rejections. They're very happy with my overall health, so I'm truly blessed. Same with my son. He's doing well also. And they said, keep doing what you're doing. So I am.
That's right, drinking green tea.
And I wanted to share a little bit of my research like I do on your songs. And this goes back to 1998 when this is on the prayer.
Yeah.
1998, 4 writers came up with this song, and Celine Dion and Bocelli sang in English and Italian. And I actually saw that. So I wanted to find out some more. And it was for a 1998 film called Quest for Camelot. So this was a song for that movie. And, I dug a little deeper and I saw that they had the promo single. They came out in 1999 and they won a Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song, a Grammy, Golden Globe for that. And then there's another thing, the Grammy Award for Best Popular Collaboration. What a mouthful that is. They won that. And that was in with collaboration with vocals in 2000. So look at 2 top awards that they won with this. And it went on about how it's internationally a very famous song that co-signed what you were saying. So now I could see why it would pique your interest that you learned this song and how to play it, which I'm still thankful that I can hear you play and sing together. It's just beautiful, great combination. But that's what I found out. So it was, interesting to see the background on this.
Yeah, and Al, one of the things that I love about singing what I call spirit jazz, which just means those uplifting messages, doesn't have to be spiritual in nature, just uplifting and inspirational. But when you sing those songs, they help the singer to feel better. So I like to learn songs that I can walk around and sing and just feel better. So that's a secret of all singers. One of my friends once said, if you sing and you sing wonderful lyrics, you're always going to be happy. You'll never really stay sad for too long. You just have to sing it out, sing your sadness out. So again, remembering the late, great Harold Betters, jazz trombonist, I also just want to say, like you said, special love to his family and his very close friends as they mourn. And I do believe we'll see each other again. He's playing up there in the Heavenly Band. So
there's no doubt about it. Just a true legend in Pittsburgh. And he stayed his whole life in Connellsville, which is amazing, and it's sort of like most people in Pittsburgh, they plant roots here. And, that's what happens in our communities.
Well, and for those of you who like to travel a little bit to kind of go see cool new things, Connellsville has a canteen, and you can just Google Connellsville Canteen, Canteen, and it is so cool how they have a bunch of history represented in that particular building, and they have photos of Harold and his brother Jerry Betters as well. And so it's pretty cool. They can Google that and go make a little visit sometime. But
I'm a history fanatic. So all of you others watching, and if you like history like I do in our Pittsburgh area, we have a rich history here starting back from 1758 when we were founded. So just check it out.
And in that Connellsville Canteen, they have this most amazing miniature train set that I've ever seen. I mean,
Really?
It shows all the parts of Connellsville and very detailed churches and little children playing, and it's amazing. So I recommend it. And another history buff who's a good friend of ours.
Yes.
J. Gregory Overson. You want to say a word about Greg?
Greggy's one of the most unique individuals you ever meet. He's known as the Hug Master. and he's J. Gregory Overson, but he goes by Greggy. So it's a little bit confusing to have a large, long name like that and then call him Greggy. He's just so full of life. And the more I've met him and talked to him, being a hug master, it's very tough for him during these times. He gives out hugs like they're candy, and people respond to that. He's just a positive guy during these tough times, and he's very knowledgeable, and he has what you've said, perfect pitch with singing theme songs of TV shows. We've done it walking to our cars where Jess was throwing songs out, a couple other people were throwing them. We must have thrown 20 theme songs out, and he sang every one of them, Jess. That's what I say about Greggy. So whatever he has here for us, you know, I'm all in with listening.
So for people who don't know Greg, he just has this, again, a lot like, you know, you think about Harold, and I said Harold Betters had a sunny personality, just joyful. So does Greg. And
Yes.
He's a visual artist as well. He has perfect pitch, can sing like beautifully. Back before COVID, he would come out to the jazz gigs a lot and draw, and he would always have shirts on that talk about unity and peace and hugging
love.
each other,
Yeah.
not fighting, hugging. And when we say hug master, for people who don't know, he just would offer anybody who wants a hug a free hug. And it doesn't matter how old you are, young you are, what you look like, what you believe. If you want a free hug, he'll give you a free hug. And during COVID and this whole COVID-19 pandemic, he asked me if I would please record a version of, go ahead, Al.
Well, here it is, From
Well,
a Distance.
From a Distance. Okay.
Yes.
So that was
Wanted to
his
make
song
sure.
request. Yeah, that was his
Yes.
song request, From a Distance. And, you know, from a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. And what a lyric for a pandemic. We're at war against the virus. We're not
Yes.
at war against each other. Let's not do
No.
that. Let's all unite and come together. It's just with the virus we're fighting, right, Al?
Right.
And so I think Greg really, he knows lyrics very well. He knows history very well.
Yes.
So I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit about where this song came from, because you like to dig in. But maybe you want to hear it first? You want to hear the version that I did for Greg?
Yes, because we need more love, and this helps to promote that too, Jess. So I can't wait to hear this song right now.
From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountain white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle, he takes flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every woman and every man. From a distance, we all have enough, and no one is in need. There are no guns, no bombs, no disease, no hungry mouths to feed. And from a distance, we are instruments playing in a common band. hope, playing songs of peace. These are the songs of every woman and every man. And God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. From a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. From a distance, I cannot comprehend what all this fighting is for. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the hope of hopes. It's the loves of loves. It's the heart of every woman and every man. It's the hope of hopes. It's the voice of peace. It's the voice of every woman and every man.
Jessica Lee, I know I'm redundant, but another great performance singing and playing your piano. I know we can't see the piano, but it sure sounds like a great piano. So I appreciate that. And what a great choice that Greggy made. I did the research. 1985, the song was written by a singer-songwriter, Julia Gold, who she tried to get people to. Here's what's sort of disappointing. She tried to promote the song for others to do it, and she got refused by just about everybody. And then she got somebody that did record it, Nancy Griffith, and she recorded it in 1987. So to show you the trials and tribulations, Julia went 2 years trying to get her song out there. So this has a great back history that look what happened. It gets 1987, then somebody we've all heard of and maybe appreciated. I appreciate her talent and skills. She was a little exotic in some of her behavior, to say the least. Bette Midler, she took it and she sang it in 1990 in her album, Some Peoples. And she was the #1 adult contemporary song. And she also was #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 songs. And she won a Grammy in 1991. So look at what happened from Julia not getting anybody to sing her song. She won top awards.
You know, on the theme of inspiration, Al, I think on some of our next upcoming By Request shows,
Sure.
we're going to have a chance to have some guests join us who have also been inspired to do new creative works and new socially good works.
Sure.
And so I think we remember our dear friend Susan Wagner, who sculpted the Roberto Clemente statue at PNC Park.
How can I forget her? I had her as a guest on my show because for years I wanted to know who made the 3 statues, Stargell, Clemente, and Mazeroski. Yeah, they're all heroes of mine. So when I met her through you, she's just a small, petite woman, and I was shocked. And then she told her story that she just put S. Wagner in the competition and they thought she was a man because all men applied, and she won. She won the Clemente statue job, and she created that, and they went on to like her, and she's done others, and she's even done the Rocco the dog, Starzl, where I had my kidney transplant, a great statue of him.
Dr. Starzl, now that one's in front of the Cathedral for Learning at Pitt, am I right?
Yeah, it's right around there. Yes, yes. So
Yeah. So she's one of the artists who has been inspired during the pandemic to explore some new works. And so I think we're going to have some wonderful guests and maybe a couple of culinary guests who have been
Sure.
exploring some new things that might be helpful for people during the coronavirus pandemic. So sometimes there are silver linings that you're inspired to do new things when you're faced with tough times.
Yes, we both believe in that, and we're spiritual, and we have that belief. So I'm looking for that silver lining, and we're getting to do shows like this. So I assume that's part of this silver lining. As technology moves forward, we're trying to get on the cutting edge now. So I'm happy to be able to be co-hosting, co-producing this show with you during these troubled times. And I know we're helping, if it's just one person, we're helping to brighten their day. And that's my goal with this by request. And don't forget to tip the cats, JessicaLeeJazz.com. Please help out. The musicians need some help during these troubled times, and they appreciate your donations. Thank you very much.
Keep the song requests coming. And we want to also say a special thank you to Dave Cable and the entire production team. And we have a lot of good news, I think, to spread in our next editions by request coming up.
And since I've been doing my show at BPTV for 9 years, as of October 11th, 2011, I want to thank BPTV. Dave Cable is just a legend in my mind. He made me into what I am today. I know he doesn't want to take credit for that, but he has.
Okay, so he created the talking machine, in other words. And your show is Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Pittsburgh Sportsline, yes.
9 years old.
We only have 670 plus shows in 9 years. So we keep plugging away, and we just got some bad news that there was some COVID in the police station. So our show tomorrow night, because this is being filmed in advance, of course. So our show for October 13th, since I'll give you that date, will be canceled. So we'll keep plugging away. There's no quit in my game, and I'll just keep doing it. And I'm so happy to be working with such a professional like Dave, and the volunteers and interns that he does bring in there for us. And with our show that we did at the Carnegie Library, we had one of the best volunteers we've had, Steve Fisher. He's just great on the camera. So we'll have to wait till we see some of those live songs.
Fun to do a by request live show outside of that Carnegie Music Hall. That was so fun. And
it was a perfect night, perfect weather night.
Have Stephen there with us. And so shout out to everybody at BPTV. Much love. And I'm looking forward to our next by request show. Thank you, Al.
You're welcome, Jess. Thank you. And thank all of you for watching our by request show.